Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Spar and Brawl. I hope you're having a decent day. As always, I'm joined by my co-host Sam, and we're back with a new episode of Progressive Tweets. So, as usual, you can find timestamps down below, and please like and consider subscribing if you've been watching us for a while. So, the video format's looking a bit different today. We're trying something new. Hopefully, it will look good once we've done a little bit of editing that is needed. So, this way, you'll be able to see the tweets the whole time, and you'll be able to see us. And hopefully, if it works, it should make the whole process even easier. But we shall see. All right, Sam, let's get started with the first tweet by the one and only Mr. Glenn Greenwald. So he's replying here to The Humanist, which everybody's familiar with. And
I don't think that's the Humanist report or
Really?
anything. I don't know. I have no idea.
Perhaps. Okay. So he went on to say that the biggest lie in the US left tells us itself is people have to move right in order to get rich in media and politics. The easiest path to self-enrichment has been resistance liberalism, closely followed by left media stars branding to AOC Bernie while urging loyalty to Democrats. Okay, Sam, I don't know what you make of this. I don't know if it's the easiest way to make money. I don't know if it's the biggest lie either that the US tells itself, but he definitely has a point that I think I agree with. But
I think that's the thing. It's definitely a big grift, but I would say it's a recent grift. Resistance liberalism is not really left to begin with. AOC and Bernie thing is really a recent thing, and I think it's gonna die out pretty soon. And I would add, I always find this so surprising, like right-wing media people that because this is more mainstream stuff, like right-wing media corners, they make so much money, man. Like, what's his name, Steven Crowder? The most the most closeted man in the whole world, like the biggest gay man who closet. He's like, his bits are basically coming out of the closet, like like that. But he's got like, he makes loads of money. So I would still say right-wing niche is probably your best bet, like Christian comedy, or it seems to me, that seems as still to me, because that's why it's just so disappointing when you see these people who grift on AOC Bernie, resistant. It's just, you're just so unimaginative as well. There's like a whole big market of stupid Christians right there. Just
I think I agree with you there. I think and like, let's put AOC and Bernie aside for a second. How about like MSNBC? Is he referring to like going on MSNBC and all this?
That's resistance liberalism, I guess.
And but you're right. There is on the right wing, there are places where they pay more or they give as much money. And on YouTube, I mean, they definitely seem to make more money. Then you can say, well, maybe they have naturally a bigger audience. Sure, but you still make more money. So I see what Glenn is saying, though. I mean, definitely is a thing as well. But
no, this is definitely a grift, but it's like, this is true in mainstream sense. For example, if you want to get to The View, you can't be Crowder type. You can't do Crowder type of stuff, but your path is more difficult, I think, to get to The View or to top off that level. But if you want to make cash by quickly, like, it's easy, like YouTube. I think you start going on saying, I don't know,
hey, like that young girl who then went to Fox.
Aliens.
Like that young girl who then went to Fox. Her name was Taylor something too, as well. The blonde.
Tommy Lauren.
Tommy Lauren.
Taylor? How do you? I'm always fascinated. I mean,
I'm not good with names, I've told you. Tommy.
I mean, she was the height of that, because she's much more successful than, I mean, mainstream wise, she's much more successful than Crowder and stuff. I don't know.
Is she still is, or did something happen to her? Like she endured a few scandals
for ages. She did a thing that she started trying to move to the center. I remember. I think it may have been, that was years ago, on abortion or something. And then I think she wasn't, I think she fucked it up somehow, but I don't know exactly. I think she fucked it up somehow.
And so since we have AOC here, this just reminded me, I mean, folks, if you haven't seen this, go check out a Progressive World mini video. We have this story from AOC. It's unbelievable. Sam and I discussed it, and I think I hadn't listened to it carefully enough because I did not make fun of this. She starts off by saying in the video that joy too is an act of resistance. And it is like one of the funniest things I have ever heard in my life. And she was talking about just having a smile on her face before she went and did her manicure. It is something. I think we did it. I think we overlooked that video. Perhaps the level of analysis wasn't deep enough.
Because for tomorrow Progressive World, we do a watch along. We do minute, second by second.
Yeah, because only a 40-second video. But no, that was something else. But yeah,
that was something else. But it did help me. I brush my teeth, I feel like I'm resisting.
Listen.
I took a shower, I feel like I'm resisting.
In the beginning, when she says like joy too is an act of resistance, in my head I thought like, yeah, if you're like a captive in a basement, yeah, maybe like act like happy to, I don't know, play some kind of game with your captor, lure him in, and then like lock him in the cage. But that's like the only thing that came to my mind. But I was like, in this context, like, because that's what you hear. Like, I don't know, in that kind of context, I thought too, like, like if someone is holding you against your will, I don't know, in your basement, maybe, you can, as a form of resistance, I don't know, act joyful or something. I don't know. But in that context, it made no sense. Yeah, Republicans.
Would you like to come closer?
So unless she was advising people who are in that situation, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, that was just like beyond belief. I mean, joy is look, that's why people like that in the end, even though she's a scum, she's gonna rise through the ranks because she's blah blah blah. At the end of the line, though, she's nothing. Like people like her will be, as soon as the Christian right is done with them, and I think they may need them for another 10 years or so. Oh my God, I can't wait for that. Yeah, they're gonna be set aside so quickly. Joy is an act of resistance. Yes. I mean, can you imagine it like Somalian just sold in the middle of a civil war? I'm listening to classical music as a way to resist.
I'm telling you, it only applies to the captive context.
It doesn't even apply there, my friend.
I've seen it in movies. It works. You have to get into the psychological warfare when you're captive.
Yes, psychological warfare, but I've never seen
joy is part of that.
Acting joyful is he's having too much fun. Let's release him.
Telling you.
This is oh man, okay. Oh my God.
You should watch more movies where like a German locks up someone in their apartment building. They have a lot of movies like this. I don't know what it is. It's like a niche of theirs.
In Europe, that was the weirdest thing that I found. There's like a whole category of jokes about Austrians locking up their family members in the basement. And I was like, okay, how do you get
I have a theory where that could come from. German apartments, like from outside, they look like they're this big. You go in there, it's never ending. There are doors into rooms, into another places. So if Austria is anything like that, I can imagine. It's the opposite of Iranian houses. Iranian houses from outside, they're huge. You go in, like, there's like a little living room. And European houses, you're like, what is this, a studio? You go in there, it's like a 5-bedroom apartment somehow.
Yeah, no, you're right there. But I would say it's really redundant to differentiate between Austrian and Germans. I mean, come on, they're the same. But again, joking, please don't write comments like the Latin language thing. Yeah. but I would I don't know, man. Yeah, it feels weird to have such a specific reputation, because every region, there is a country, there is a nation that is being cheap. There is one famous for being a stupid. There is one
Yeah.
famous for being show off. Having family members locked up in a basement as a, I don't know. I'm just saying.
Maybe it's myth
Anyway.
bullshit, but maybe there's some truth to
No,
it.
it's
But
definitely
anyway,
him.
let's move on. This is too funny. So Glenn had written Cenk can't breathe, and he was referring to this. Poor Cenk suffering so much.
Let's read
Hope
this.
is in short supply. Democratic leadership refuses to fight for us, even as the right wing gets more vicious. Democrats are suffocating us with their weaknesses and their gaslighting. No, we don't think you've done anything at all for us. As Democratic voters, we can't breathe. Oh. All the Democratic voters, they're all in the same basket. All their lives are as bad as one another. And of course, Cenk, he just can't anymore. Just take me away, God. I can't anymore. I can't. Did you see that video I sent you, Anna, like swearing at the Democratic Party? It's too funny. We can watch it tomorrow. It's like a 20-second clip.
Yeah. No, I mean, look, I would love for these motherfuckers to spend like 5 minutes. I mean, that's the thing. Glenn lives in a country not too dissimilar to Iran, Brazil. But, you know, what the fuck is wrong with just chill there? Like this is a Karen. Cenk is a Karen. That explains so much about Cenk, right?
I mean, he's much worse.
He's basically a Turkish Karen.
Turkish male, like, you know,
male fascist Karen.
Like angry. What would I say? Not angry. Like, I don't want to see. I want to say another word. Like short-tempered. I don't know, something. But
hot-headed.
Hot-headed. Yeah, hot-headed.
Yeah, I mean, such a, you know, I can't breathe. Oh my God, chill the fuck out. Seriously. I mean, that's, to be fair though, like as in Iran, like that's like what you live with constantly. Liberals in Iran are just basically, most of them are like this dick. But
people who can breathe very well go about their lives.
Yeah, that's the thing as well. They're like the best breed in Iran, and they have the most complaint about everything. Like there's a guy there, like carrying the weight of like 3 buildings on his
and
shoulders.
That's the thing.
Yeah, and then some lady with a fan going, "Oh my God, can you believe it? Iranian regime is so bad." It's like, what?
I mean, I always grew up with that. That's why I have such a you know, I have like the opposite kind of knee-jerk reaction to stuff in Iran, just because I grew up with that overreaction so much that sometimes I overreact the other way. Although I've tried to be more centrist.
It's just the way they overreact. Exactly. It's just.
Let's look at this one. So you might have to unpack this one a bit.
Oh, I wasn't sure if we're gonna include
this. Is terrifying. Right-wingers hate this country. They've always wanted to turn to some religious dictatorship. Finally, people are admitting it. There's nothing much to it. We can just move on.
I just know. I would like to say, Cenk.
What's said in the opinion piece? I haven't read the opinion piece. So
hopefully we take a look at that tomorrow as well. But like, this is terrifying. Right-wingers hate this. They always want to. I mean, I don't know okay, you've known this all along, haven't you? Like, they say it publicly. I don't know what you want.
This is like the oldest of political story. Like, you know, once you become like politicized,
Christians want Christianity.
You learn about what Christians and like Republicans do in the US and what's going on in Israel. Like, you learn these two things before you're allowed to talk about politics. So the fact that you act like, exactly, like you're just discovering this.
Come on. This is ridiculous. This is even more basic than that. This is like, you know, Muslims, they seem to have a thing for Islam. You know, they and then tweeting. I mean, look, I don't get it. And finally, people are admitting it. They've been admitting it forever. They've been saying it forever. I mean,
listen.
And by the way, to them, we should add dictatorship and fascism in many ways to that democracy. To democracy as a floating signifier, because to them it's not a dictatorship. To them, it's a justified rule of a righteous, for example, council of Christian rulers or whatever. To them, it's not.
No, you're right. Yeah, I like that. Yeah, just throwing the dictatorship, like authoritarian, is the same thing. And yeah, and I mean, when it comes to people who are religious, when it came to the Roe v. Wade and stuff, I mean, it kind of helps. This sounds corny to see it from their side. Doesn't mean that for you to agree with them or for you to accept it, but just to understand that where they're coming from. So now, I mean, if they are religious and they have those religious ideas, then what they say kind of goes with those religious ideas. Now you can disagree with the whole thing, which is completely fine, but
that's why religion should fundamentally be opposed, and no religious schools should be allowed, and no religious people should be allowed to talk to children. And frankly, in some cases, children should be separated from the religious, like those homeschool psychopaths or cults. In those cases, the state should stand in, because that's the thing, they allow it to happen. They allow children to get brainwashed, and then they're like, oh, what happened? Oh, it seems that half of the nation wants the nation to be Christian. What a surprise. It's not surprise. None of this is surprise.
Definitely. And we'll come back to this opinion piece if it's worth it tomorrow. A little bit more Cenk. So
this caused some, let me give a bit of background. This caused a bit of controversy. Hopefully we might get to discuss it a bit more tomorrow, but there is this recent thing that certain people are equating the attacks on women through Roe versus Wade, or attacks not on women. Frankly, I hate that framing. Attacks on human rights with Roe versus Wade, and the trans language policing, which is extremely annoying. So this is somewhat in regard to that. The Betty Midler tweet went a bit viral, I believe.
I see. Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. So, women of the world, we are being stripped of our rights over our bodies, our lives, and even our name. They don't call us women anymore. They call us birthing people or menstruators, and even people with vaginas. Don't let them erase you. Every human on earth owes you. So Cenk wrote, this goes too far. I don't know why everybody feels the need to attack trans people as if it's the biggest national emergency, let alone the right thing to do. But the term birthing people instead of mothers, if used generically, is absurd. Sorry. Okay, I'm still a bit confused though, even though you gave that little context. So maybe if you want to unpack it a bit more again.
What are you specifically?
So they're equating what? Sorry, they're equating. Say it again. What you said.
Oh, so Roe versus Wade. They say
it's going back to the start.
Yeah, Roe. Okay, let's. Big Bang happens. Roe versus Wade. They say it's an attack on women, but they say it's not just. The attack on women is not just coming from the right, it's also coming from the left, with the left trying to diminish women by, for example, you're not allowed to say this is a woman's issue. You should say this is a menstruating people and birthing people and that type of issue, for example. I don't know if you saw that segment on The Hill, which we might talk about, that, for example, Kim says that there was a medical document in which there was no option for women. There was the option of birthing person or birthing person. That. Or so they're saying that not only legally, but linguistically, I suppose women are under attack and are being erased and and such. And I would say there's a bit, look, who on earth do you think finds the language policing, especially from these psychopaths on the Vogue, more annoying than me? I don't know, probably Jordan Peterson. But but I find it extremely annoying. I think birthing person is extremely stupid. Frankly, I think we had a good language going before this whole trans thing became a thing. It used to be called intersex people, and you had the intersex people, and then that's I don't know. Anyway, but at the same time, that I think it's extremely annoying when people police language and such. At the same time, I don't think it's equivalent of banning abortion, making it illegal to have a medical procedure that is I think that's a whole different level. Again, we talk about it in New York, for example. They introduced a fine for using some, if you misgender somebody or something. I think that's ridiculous too. But this is like a 26 statewide ban on abortion, on a medical procedure, not on his speech. And again, I give a shit about freedom of speech, but I'm not stupid enough to think it's more important than a medical procedure that is necessary. Like, people need to get their priorities, I think, a bit more balanced. Like, I mean, who doesn't like to laugh at woke stupid people who call women birthing, whatever? But at the same time, there is a differentiation. So I just
so you agree with both the tweets, both the original tweet and Cenk, kind of?
I hope I disagree with both, but yeah, you put it that way. Okay.
I know. Do you know? No.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not about you agreeing or disagreeing. I'm just trying to understand that I get the whole thing.
I disagree with Midler. There is I think people being annoying, or if I don't know if you can. No, I guess you're right. I agree with both to an extent. I just think that the abortion thing is far, far more egregious than the language thing for now. I don't. Maybe tomorrow they introduce legislation that if you misgender somebody, we beat the shit out of you.
And and I see it. Yeah. And and this person puts it on the same level here at one sense, because it goes, we are being stripped of our rights over our bodies, our lives, and even our name. So making it seem like that this is perhaps as big as an issue as that. So that I think you would take a little bit of issue with.
Yeah, and I would, by the way, add, I don't know, I don't think it's a good idea to just, this is a human rights issue. Why do you have to always, like, even the trans thing, the naming thing, it's all, are men not involved in this? Do men not have family members who are going to be affected by these things? So it's like, this is not men. No, because it creates in the head of many men, especially young men, as soon as they see this, they think that, oh, women, men, we are now on the other side. I think it's not it's a human rights issue. Most men are opposed to, I would imagine, I don't know, actually, I don't know. What I hope most men are opposed to abortion and a stupid fucking
not opposed to abortion, you mean?
Oh, sorry. Opposed to banning abortion. Opposed to banning abortion and a stupid birthing person, linguistic fuckery, whatever you want to call that. I don't know what to call that. Linguistic engineering.
I see. I got you. Okay. Fair enough. Now I see. Now I'm in the loop. Now I'm in the loop of what's going on here.
I mean, the New York Times, I believe, also had the article by somebody. I was just listening to Chapo Trap House guys covering that. That was about somebody making the same equivalency, but I haven't looked at that yet. But yeah, so yeah, I just thought I'd bring that up. It was an issue in the news, so I thought we'd talk about it. I wanted to give my opinion. I'm increasingly finding it difficult to justify this show, because it's like, it's a show, I give my opinion. Who wants your opinion? No one, but still.
Some do. Now, Scott Adams, unpack this one too, please. Who is this gentleman?
Fuck. This gentleman is a very, very, very generous term for a man of his intellectual ability. You don't know about the I can never pronounce it, like Drillbit comics. I'm just googling so I can say it. Drillbit.
No, Drillbit comic. No, I'm looking at it now, but wait. Yeah, it literally involves drills, right? Or no?
No. Wait, let me just.
Oh.
Dilbert. Fucking hell, I can't. I anything with L and R really fucks me up. Sorry, guys. Dilbert Comics. You know what? Did you? I mean, now you Google it. Have you ever seen the image? Do you know anything about it?
No.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I used to like check it out and something sometimes, and because it looked cool and funny, because it's like kind of like Garfield, but
Yeah,
when
it's
you're a
comic
kid,
book thing.
yeah, like Garfield, like very comic strippy, and he's in an office, and it's usually like he doesn't want to do his office work, and it's very boring, and that type of shit. It's when you're a kid, when I was a kid, I really wanted to get it, so I would read it and I'd be like ha 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 ha, and I really didn't get it. I still to this day don't get it. It's just as I got older, I realized that it just wasn't funny, and the people who were laughing at it, they're all pretending as well. So very unfunny, man. Very like it's just but that was probably his best thing. Then he's become a conservative sort of conservative celebrity type person.
I see. Should I read his tweets now?
Yes, go ahead.
The worst thing conservatives do to the country is promote fathers as a solution to social problems. It fools us into thinking a solution exists. Read the rest of this thread before reacting. To be clear, I agree a two-parent situation has a statistical advantage over other models, with plenty of exceptions involving great one-parent families. But do those stats capture the 50% divorce rate? Of course not. It's probably worth trying to improve the fatherless situation, but to imagine we can do much there is unrealistic, and it keeps us from harder choices because we imagine easier ones exist.
So what do you think he's talking about?
Yeah, I'm not fully following him. I feel like I agree with some things that he's saying, but I feel like I'm not really getting what he's trying to say.
Okay.
I feel like he's trying to pull a trick on me or something.
Listen to this. These are after this tweet. When a young male, let's say 14 to 19, is a danger to himself and others, society gives supporting family two options. Watch people die, kill your own son. These are the two options. Those are your only options. I choose number one and watched my stepson die. I was relieved he took no one else with him. Follows with another tweet. If you think there is a third choice in which your wisdom and tough love, along with government services, fixes that broken young man, you're living in a delusion. There are no other options. You have to either murder your own son or watch him die and maybe kill others. So,
very interesting false dichotomy that he presented, that's the only thing that I got and came to my mind, which is that if you have someone troubled, it's gonna lead to them either killing someone or, killing just themselves, and there's no way it's gonna lead to a third, slightly more okay option, because some people do change as they get older, unless he's not aware of that. But that's the only thing I have to react to this extremely strange and troubling tweet. I don't know what you have to say. You've had more time to think about it.
I'm sending you the two tweets that I didn't send in this. I thought it's part of the same thread.
No worries.
But I just like the two choices. That is, so you have a son or you have a male, let's say, family member or a friend who is in trouble or is having troubling thoughts or whatever. Yeah. Your two options are he's between 14 to 19 years old. Watch people die, kill your own son. How? How do you come to that? And then the worst thing conservatives do to the country is to promote fathers as a solution. So he's basically saying evil is innate, right? That no father, no parenting, no psychologist, no psychiatrist,
No, just change
none
in
of this.
life, you just like, growing up, becoming a bit different. None of these can happen. So like according to him, you can diagnose you can you can predict someone's like future with 100% accuracy between the age of 14 and 19. I mean, I'm not for censorship, but does this tweet not cross some kind of threat or something?
This is not again not advocating for censorship, but I am advocating for a full-on proper mental health sort of a federal government that steps in and takes people whenever they're this level of they're harm. Like this man can vote. I mean, it's crazy. But listen to this. No. So if you have a child, if you have a son, and you even like his father was away, this male person, his father coming back is not gonna help. It's not a solution. None of this works. But then read the second tweet that you have there on the screen. To be clear, I agree. To read
a two-parent situation has a statistical advantage over other models, with plenty of exceptions involving great one-parent families. But do those stats capture the 50% divorce rate? Of course not.
So what the fuck now? So now is that like is this divorce being brought into this? So what is he saying? He's saying that the 50% divorce rate is, first of all, I don't think it's a 50% divorce rate. I don't think it's that high. I don't know.
Yeah.
But how is that
quite high? But yeah.
Can you tell me how is that related to the fact that two-parent situation has a statistical advantage to
this is the one that threw me off completely, because I was like, okay, is this guy being more insightful than I thought? And yeah, it's unclear if the stat helps his case or goes against his case. And yeah,
I mean, it's not clear how it is related. And I must say, I feel bad for, I don't know what happened to his stepson, but
yeah, and
Jesus
then
Christ.
And who the hell are you to come and talk about the stepson like this? I mean, that's kind of coming to my mind. I don't know, because some people know their stepson, I don't know, their whole life. Or did this guy just meet the kid 2 years before? Who knows?
But I mean, it's what the fuck is wrong with this man? I mean, seriously, again, I don't understand. That's why I believe in freedom of speech, because these people should be allowed to talk. And then when they talk, they should be immediately taken to asylum. Give them a Twitter in the asylum too, by the way. Give them a Twitter, give them YouTube, give them whatever they want. Talk to whoever, like, what's his name? Charles Mason, that fucking asshole who, the Mason family killer.
I think
Once upon a time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
He recorded, I believe, songs from in the prison. He released albums or some shit. Whatever. But Jesus Christ, don't let them vote. Don't let them. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. If somebody can clarify what the fuck he's talking about.
I'm with you. Let's move on. Mike Solano. So Glenn had, of course, retweeted this. You can see the pictures here. One on the left says, in quote, "It is not possible to be reinfected with one of Omicron's variants every 2 to 3 weeks. The data shows that each reinfection confers no immunity." And Taylor Lorenz wrote, "Don't listen to blue check doctors on Twitter who consistently downplay long COVID or the virus's devastating long-term effects. COVID complacency has opened the door to rampant illness and devastating long-term damage. Any expert who doesn't recognize that is non-expert." And then Mike Solano had written, "I'm used to the COVID fear-mongering, but don't listen to the experts. A truly fascinating new brand direction for the Washington Post." Man, this tweet of hers is from when? It's from the 5th of July. She's not backing down, from this long COVID thing. And I hesitate saying long COVID because people who say long COVID aren't saying this. She's created her own
version of long COVID.
version of disease, and she's just given it that name, and then she's turned it into her narrative and talking points.
I don't think long COVID is real, frankly, at the moment. And even if it turn out it's real in 10 years, then okay. But right now, it's been 4 years since COVID. They can't be. Oh my God.
Anyway,
oh
that's
my,
not what it refer. Anyway, from what I heard, just referring to a much shorter time span, just like just like going over 2 to 3 weeks to just a month or 6 weeks. Like that's what people say. But I mean, Taylor,
Okay.
that's one way. But Taylor Lorenz make it seem like people left and right, or
Yes.
going like lifelong paralyzed, or I mean, I didn't write these words. Devastate to rampant illness and devastating long-term damage.
Jesus Christ, man. Yeah, it's. I mean, to be fair, I'm glad finally somebody who is as like Washington Post has always been a rag and bunch of their experts are nonsense.
No.
Their reporters are nonsense. Their reporting is nonsense. They had ties with intelligence services from very beginning. Psychopaths, really. So it's nice finally that they're getting more and more.
100%. I couldn't agree with you more. Like both the Taylor Lorenz mixed with that other tweet Saga, these two have
Felicia
really they really crystallized what is going on for me in Washington Post. Like that was enough to really get like another angle. I always knew about the media, how the media works, but I think this showed me like a new level of insight that I didn't even think they would go that far.
Washington Post, this whole credibility is largely lies upon a myth that they played such a role with the whole Watergate.
No, I wasn't even considering it. I wasn't even like putting them on a pedestal or anything like that.
I know. I'm just saying, but and something that was most likely a limited hangout operation rather than a real leak. But whatever.
I feel you, but damn. But these two were like, they're insightful, the way she behaves, and the way that I guess they're in office rituals have been enlightening. Thank you for that. This one's hilarious. Pepe Escobar, this means he's back on Twitter, the poor guy.
Yeah.
You put Nick tweeted, Serbian president waving at nobody, pretending there's a crowd gathered there to celebrate the new railway line. It's one of the best metaphors for politician-voter interactions I've seen in a long while.
The video is great. Check out the video, everybody. There is bits where he's waving and there is just trees and goats and stuff. And Viktor Orban, he's sitting in front of him, and you can tell Viktor Orban is going, what the fuck are you doing, man? Why are you doing this? Just don't do it. No, I don't know what he's doing. It's just, I love this, by the way. Every other week in Balkans, you get a new fucking nation, and soon there is going to be Bia separating from Ser, and it's going to be, Bia versus Ser. Kosovo is now independent, right? Last time I checked.
Not too sure.
Man. But they got a train, so that's nice.
Let's keep it going. Taylor Lorenz again. I think this one's self-explanatory. DC is so wild. They have a whole resistance store on 14th now. And everybody would think that this is sarcasm, right? But with her, it's probably not.
That's what I was wondering. Is this sarcasm, or is this? Do you think she's genuine?
Based on what I've seen, and I don't think I would have ever been convinced until it was, except if it was literally her. But yeah, I think she's being genuine. Yeah,
she's crazy enough. I mean,
if anybody else knows more about, like, maybe there's something about 14th Street or something. Maybe there are more clues in here that we can pick up on. But yes, but I don't think so. I think she's probably being very genuine.
Yeah, and I would add, as Glenn pointed out, you can make money off of resistance. And frankly, kudos to the store. Kudos to being upfront about it. I like it when people are upfront, at least rather than, oh, it's about the country.
Second to last tweet. So we're not going to talk about this topic anymore
Come
about
on, you're doing this.
Europe versus America. But Saagar is still on it. But I'm just going to read this and leave it. It's too funny. So there's a poll here. For all the whatever about how Americans don't travel, 73% of Americans have traveled outside of the US. I would like to check that stat one day, but anyway, let's leave it. But only 44% of Europeans have traveled outside the EU. So only that could only mean that only 44% of European Union citizens have traveled outside the EU for this to be true, for this to make sense. Should I read the rest, or do you wanna?
Just wanted to add 70% of Americans have traveled outside is completely plausible if you consider Mexico outside
true.
and going to, I'm going to, what's that place they go to in OC? They always went there.
Oh, in Mexico though, like Tijuana or something.
Tijuana, yeah. We're all,
That's a good point. That's a good point. That I would like the stat if you remove like Mexico or like maybe
Tijuana,
Bahamas or something.
not even Mexico. Just remove Tijuana.
That was hilarious. I think that's the best insight you've ever brought after 2 years to Spar and Brawl.
Oh, see, I know what's going on in America. Fuck you. All right.
And Saagar, and we're just going to leave it here. And, EU is multiple countries, but whatever. Let's put that aside. The reasons Euros are so triggered by this is because most of them are so uncultured and badly traveled that they literally don't know better. The uncultured and arrogant Euro, the uncultured and arrogant Euro. So now he's really, it's not fun anymore. It really seems to have something now. Like now it's gone over, you crossed the line. Now it's not like funny. There seems to be something really wrong with you and person. I bet you like the first girl he kissed was some European girl in Paris or something when he went there at the age of 25 and like she didn't return his messages. When he went back to the US. That's my theory. That's my working theory.
Well,
Saagar has kissed the girl once.
No. My theory is my theory is he spent 6 months there, and as soon as he opened his mouth about his ideas, then all the pussy around him dried up. So he's. But I mean, look. The thing is, as we discussed, this is such a stupid idea to compare nations
of course.
way or this way. But, I would like to add, if Europeans are uncultured, they may actually have a culture they haven't been taught yet, or they haven't learned yet. I mean, Saagar, you're from America. Your culture is as deep as a particularly shallow lake. You 150 years old, and what is it like? Most of it was spent. I mean, what are you talking about? You goof, you serious goof. I mean, if anybody's going to talk about culture, it's going to be Europeans, Middle Easterners, and Chinese. So fuck off. Like this idea that Americans now can talk about culture. You didn't allow black people to marry white people until 70s. I mean, fuck you. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I don't
know.
Not
that Europeans are necessarily so good or Iranians are so good. We are awful, awful people. But we are not going to be lectured on culture by some nourish, upstart, frankly. Jesus.
No, but something's happened to him. How can he have so much hate? Something's happened to him. Maybe one day we'll find out. Maybe one day.
And I'm the one who was, do you remember how much I went at fucking Europe regarding that whole, what was it? What was the thing I got? Europeans are so arrogant towards Americans, as if all Americans
we defended them. Exactly. We defended the American tourists. But then when
American
Saagar
tourists
comes
are
along.
some of the best. American tourists spend money on like European pieces of shit who just
we don't know that either, but take it easy. You don't have to go there.
I'm calling out all and Iranian.
Take it easy with the swearing and name calling.
Oh wait,
name calling actually.
No, wait, Iranians. Iranians. I don't know what is typical.
I don't know. No need to spend more time here. And let's wrap it up with another. I don't know what do you call this guy? Bravery is what makes America special, and we can only be free if we are brave. All right, thank you for that, and that's the end of today's show.
What? Come on, Camille. This is half of this is what missed this. Like, man, this guy is using Mehmet Oz. He's using Turkish mystical tactics in American election. This is not. Americans are not ready for this. This is not fair. Like, American or European or any brain that is not used to this sort of Turkish mysticism is gonna just be like, man, this guy's amazing. Like, you're gonna hear so many of these. He's gonna take platitude. You think you've heard platitudes from Hillary Clinton? He's gonna take it to the next level. Bravery is what makes America special, not great. Special.
Hey, at least.
And we can only be free if we are brave. So bravery makes you free and special. I mean, it's not even an affirmation of bravery. It's just a statement of what bravery can be. I love this. I mean, I hope he becomes president. I mean, I can't wait until he becomes the president. Please, God, please.
All right. Well, on that note, folks, please leave your comments, question, criticism down below. We'll make sure to get to them. If not, please like and subscribe. And we'll see you in our next video. Thank you.